eCommerce 360. Today we have Rob, founder and CEO of FluidRank. FluidRank is an e-commerce agency with a dedicated team devoted to every square inch of e-commerce landscape. So, hey Rob, thanks for coming on eCommerce 360.
Hey Rev, thanks for having us. We're excited to be here and have a good conversation with you.
That's amazing. So, Rob, before we jump into the topic of the day, which is BFCm sales, let's talk a bit about yourself and your FluidRank. How did you conceive the idea?
Yeah, so prior to starting FluidRank, I was actually selling software as a service to digital marketing agencies, and that software never really took off like we thought it would, and so obviously, I needed to look for something else to do. And one of the things that I learned about, the agency environment when I was selling software was a huge disconnect between agency clients and the agency themselves. And so, I've always been a very people person. I have a genuine heart to want to care for businesses and everybody that I associate with. So, when I started FluidRank, it was really that problem that we were trying to solve, right? We were trying to bridge the gap between how the agency and agency client relationship is formed. To this day, I think we've done a pretty good job. Our retention rate's over 90%. And so, I think we really focus on those metrics. And that's really what led me to start the business. We're going on our fourth year now, and I'm extremely grateful for where we are.
That's amazing start. So usually agencies, what we have known is, charging by the hour. That is their metric. Are we charging them by hour? Are we charging them by minute? And it's great that when you say that you're going to be focusing on the long-term relationship that you have with your customers. So that's amazing. Let's jump right into the topic. Let's talk about BFCm 2021. How important do you think it's for brands?
As an e-commerce marketing agency, right, we spend a vast majority of the year on really two things, right? One is acquisition. And so you really focus all year on trying to grow your list, grow your customers, acquiring those new customers, and then the retention side, right? So continuing to nurture those. And so when brands look at their marketing budgets, there can be some challenges for a period of 6 to 7 months of, return on investments and things of that nature. And so, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday gear up is all about, working to increase profitability on maybe some things that weren't so profitable early on in the year. Customer acquisition costs are continuing to rise. Obviously, there's been changes with iOS, just how Facebook is doing things, and so when you look at, historically, 50 to 60% of our customers' budgets are directed just towards Facebook and Google alone. And so when you throw in some challenges there, acquisition rising, you have to really gear up for what we're about to roll into. And so for the brands that have done a really good job, this is an exciting time of the year. This is where we get back to the old days of Facebook when you could get 6, 8, 10, 12x on ads, and what really grew their platform, right? And we know that that's not a consistent thing anymore for brands that are running at scale.
That's sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I just, that's really why I think, this is the most important time for any brand, especially direct-to-consumer brands.
Absolutely. So, like you just said, right, Facebook, iOS updates have just, kind of been putting a lot of hurdles in the way between the brands and their customers. So what must brands focus on this year for a killer sales BFCm?
Yeah, so it starts right now. A kind of a value bomb for everyone who's listening is, if you're not currently running that kind of Christmas and July sale where you start split testing a few different campaigns and creative ideas, make sure next year you guys are going to run those campaigns. But essentially right now, what needs, to happen for that to be a really, really good thing is you need to start warming campaigns. The Facebook algorithm's new way only really lets you increase budgets daily by 20% before you could potentially go back into the learning phase. And so when you talk about, running scaled campaigns and how that works, it's a great time now to start launching and testing what works and being able to increase those budgets so that you can have great scalable campaigns when it comes to there. The other thing that we really see that is going to be, I think, that's important for brands right now is a holistic marketing approach. So many brands get centric on just one particular metric. And for us, several of our brands, I do a good 30 to 35% of my revenue through email marketing. I pick up another, 8 to 12% through text message marketing. So we really have that holistic approach for your marketing campaigns. And I think right now is the time that every brand who is serious about successful Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns, it's time to get proactive and start really, testing and analyzing that data. And, what type of creative works, what type of messaging, what type of discount tiers, all those things. I think when they do that, I think they're going to set themselves up for a huge success this holiday season.
That's interesting when you mentioned email marketing and text messaging, right? Outside of Facebook ads. So that's what I was going to ask you next. So, the BFCm really drives in a massive customer acquisition, massive customer visits, and you have a lot of sales. That is like the biggest sales during the entire year. And then what you see is there is this slump right after BFCm because, all those customers or shoppers who came to your shop just for the discount or probably for the creative are not being retained. So what are your suggestions for brands to retain the customers who come to a brand's website during BFCM?
Yeah, so kind of to answer that, I want to go back to what Facebook has done with their algorithm. And so the iOS updates are presenting some big challenges. And our belief here at FluidRank, looking at data that we see, is those challenges are continue to get, more and more challenging, especially when it comes to understanding what your true metrics are. And so one of the things that our company is doing for our clients is starting to look ahead. So I want to talk about, how do you look ahead? We always focus on the here and now, and we need sales today, we need revenue, we ramp up for this, but great, they came and purchased for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. What do you do? So when you look at the rising cost on Facebook and some other channels, one of the things that we're starting to have a big focus on is loyalty programs. So we really want to get our customers enrolled in some loyalty. And we're really starting to train our audiences to be our number one fan, and rewarding them for bringing in their friends and giving them a reason to kind of want to share, like a purchase or a product or anything, to try to bring them in, get their friends and family to become purchasers. And then for us, when we're doing e-commerce marketing, especially with direct to consumer brands, 10 emails a month is pretty standard for us. And probably people listening going, my gosh, that's a lot. But if I told you every time I pushed a button I can generate $5,000 to $20,000 in sales, it doesn't matter. You'd probably shock yourself. And so that, along with the SMS and loyalty, are things that I see in 2022 are going to be some really good ways for brands to be able to continue to pay that higher acquisition. Because one thing about it, if you continue to acquire customers, but you have a terrible attrition on the back end, you're not getting yourself anywhere in terms of the business, right? And so brands, it's all I hear. I need new customers. I need new customers. I need new customers. And the very first thing I said, I get it. That's how you grow. But what are you doing with your current customers? And, part of the marketing strategy really needs to take that current customer and dive into how you can utilize them to help fuel the growth. And I think that is where e-commerce, it's already started, right? Like it's already happening. But I think this is a huge play that we're going to see play out over the next 12 to 18 months. And the brands that jump on that now, they are going to be the leaders when we make that shift.
That's beautifully put. That's wonderfully put. So you were talking about loyalty and emails and text messaging being the trends for 2022. What other trends are you saying as an e-commerce agency? Are there any specific requests? Like, for example, we need to be big in TikTok. We need to be big on Insta, or Shopify had a recent collab with TikTok, so that the end users or the end shoppers can probably shop from within the TikTok platform. So what kind of trends are you foreseeing for 2022?
Yeah, I mean, so I definitely do feel that more of the live reels, like your TikTok, where you can do video recordings, things of that nature. I think that the kind of that customer interaction, that live interaction, is where it's really moving to, right? I mean, you go back and you look at a platform like Comment Sold and the live selling that they did on Facebook. That was great for a while. And then they stop of the Facebook groups, that was gone, right? Like, because even the organic of Facebook is dying. Yeah. So I think people that can spin off from that are going to really do well. Engagement, really for us, any platform that you're able to personally engage with a customer I think is what's truly on the rise. And I'll tell you something, what we see, we manage about 12 to 15 million a year in Facebook ad spend. So I'll tell you what I see in a lot of accounts that's going to back this data up. A year and a half ago, you could really have some lifestyle images, say of myself or you holding a product visibly. And those really converted really well. I can take the exact same campaign today, run that old creative with now like a boomerang or mini video creative, and the cost per purchase on those consistently, I'm not talking, out of the board, like just one campaign, I'm talking across multiple campaigns, multiple brands, the cost per purchase is reduced by almost 50% just by a video interaction. And I think that, the marketing landscape has come back full circle. I think there's an old adage, right? It was like a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, a video's worth 1,000,000. And so now I think, anywhere that you're now doing video, I think any platform that you can leverage, I think is what's up and on the rise. Just talking to brands that I work with, I mean, make no mistake about it, we've made a lot of money off Facebook. But I will caution every brand and say it, you better start looking at alternative solutions because it's going to get too expensive to acquire customers before it's all over with. Now, it's going to be probably good for retention and remarketing and a few other things, but you better have another acquisition channel.
That's amazing. That's great. Rob, it has been wonderful talking with you. I hope you guys have super successful BFCM sales this month or the next month, and I'm sure you are neck deep in work. And thanks for taking time for speaking with us. Is there any parting last hack or a trick that you want to leave us with for BFCM specifically, just before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think it's important for every brand who is engaging in Black Friday, Cyber Mondays. I'll tell you what you should be doing at a high level. So for all you brands and this audience here, make sure that you have a really good, solid retention campaign continuously running on Facebook. Make sure that your remarketing campaign is really solid and your audiences are really segmented. And what I mean by that is segment out, exclude all your purchasers and really go to what their action, where they left the funnel, was it add to cart, initiating checkout, or just view the page, and tailor your messaging based on what the audience has done. Make sure that you have an incredible SMS flow for abandoned cart setup, as well as email marketing setup, and leverage your list. Grant Cardone, we all know who Grant Cardone is. There's this funny clip on a I think it was a YouTube or something that he did, but it's like someone told him, man, you got to leave your list alone. And his response was, hit the list. That's what it's there for. Hit it. And I'm going to encourage all of you direct consumer brands, hit your list. The people that do not buy, purge them, make way for new customers, and above and beyond, have a successful Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. And we hope everybody becomes out profitable.
That's great. That's wonderful. Thank you, Rob, so much for coming on our show and leaving us with some really good nuggets. I think our viewers will be excited to learn from Fluid Rank, as well as your experience on how to handle and go about BFCM so that it's super successful in 2021. Thanks, Rob. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rev. Have a great day.